You're watching Healthy Living in the Four Corners, brought to you by Thrive Chiropractic Studio. Welcome to this edition of Healthy Living in the Four Corners. Today we're in the studio with Dr. Trapper Niccum to talk about chiropractic and the 3 things you should know before you select a doctor for treatment. Welcome.
Thank you.
What is the first number one thing that you should know?
I think the biggest thing is for people to have an understanding of what their expectations are, what their goals are. And I think that applies across the board to whatever provider they're looking for. For example, people might come in and they really just have a short-term injury that happened 2 days ago skiing, and it's pulled muscle. It's something pretty simple. Sometimes there might be an underlying chronic issue that people haven't thought about in a while, and then it gets exacerbated. And I think it's good for them to have an understanding of what their goals are with those and to have some real expectations.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is based on all that, expect to find a provider that's going to do their due diligence. They're going to do an exam. They're going to do a workup. They're going to find out what's really going on, and therefore what do you have to do that's going to make you participate the most in your care and get the most results?
Why is the exam so important instead of just dropping in and say, I need a quick adjustment?
I know it's a silly analogy, but I do use it frequently. Think about if you had a toothache and you didn't know why it was there. You're like, well, I woke up Tuesday and there it was. And you went to the dentist. You wouldn't just demand that they drill it or they pull it or that they replace it or something. Because you don't know what the problem is. So you really want to find out what is the problem before you start messing around with it.
And what is the third thing people should consider before selecting a chiropractor?
It goes beyond the professional thing, and that is finding a provider that's a good match. Like, when you just sit and talk to someone, is it easy? Does it feel comfortable? Do you trust them? Do you trust their recommendations? Do you feel that they are really listening to you? So it's a personal bond or a personal connection, and I think in the first visit, you can usually figure that out with your provider if it feels like it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, and so you have to have that rapport because you have to have that transparency with each other, being willing to say, I do this and I eat that, and you can say, you shouldn't do that, or I would recommend that you not. Yeah, that kind of transparency is very important. I believe congratulations are in order that your practice was selected the best chiropractic practice in Durango by the Herald's Readers Poll this year.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today in the studio, and I look forward to seeing you again here on Healthy Living in the Four Corners.